All right, everybody, welcome back. We are ready for another deep dive, and today we're tackling something that's pretty popular, pretty hot right now.
Yeah.
Altcoins.
Yeah, definitely a lot of buzz.
A lot of buzz, a lot of interest out there. So we're going to kind of take a look and see if we can help you figure out which ones might be worth your attention.
Absolutely.
And to do that, we've got some source material here talking about the best altcoins with potential to grow.
Right.
But before we jump into that, maybe we should start with just like a real quick, what are we even talking about?
Yeah. What is an altcoin?
What is an altcoin?
So basically, it's any cryptocurrency that's not Bitcoin.
Okay. So literally everything other than Bitcoin is an altcoin.
Yeah. So it's a pretty big umbrella.
It's a huge umbrella. Okay. So, I mean, we've got obviously some big names in there like Ethereum.
Right.
But then tons and tons and tons of like smaller, more niche kind of coins. So like, what makes a good altcoin? You know, what are we looking for when we try to figure out like, oh, this one has potential?
Yeah. So there's a bunch of things you got to kind of consider. First of all is the technology, right? Like, is it actually innovative? Is it doing something new? Is it like, using a new technology? Is it solving a problem in a new way? Because, there's some altcoins that are focused on like speed of transactions.
Right.
Some are focused on privacy. Some are more about security.
Right.
So the technology is really important.
Yeah. I mean, just because it uses some fancy new technology doesn't mean it's necessarily going to be like successful, right?
Exactly.
What else are we looking at?
So it's got to actually have some kind of use in the real world, right? Like a utility.
Okay.
So is it actually being used for transactions? Is it being integrated into some, industry, like supply chain management or decentralized finance or even like gaming?
Yeah, so it has to do something.
Yeah, it's not just a cool idea. It's actually got to be used.
Yeah, okay. What about the people behind it? Does that matter?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
The community is super important. If you have like a really passionate community behind an altcoin, they can spread awareness, they can provide support, and they can even, contribute to the project.
Mm-hmm.
So you really want to look for coins that have like a really active and engaged community.
Okay, so we're looking at the tech, we're looking at real world use, we're looking at the community.
Mm-hmm.
It's like judging a company almost.
Yeah, and then you also have to think about, the overall market.
Yeah, right.
So like the trends in the market, because we do see these periods of huge growth across the entire crypto market. And, these are often called bull runs.
Yeah.
And some altcoins do really well during those times. But you have to remember that those trends are cyclical. So
yeah, that's what makes me a little nervous sometimes about altcoins.
Yeah.
It's like, is it a bubble? Are we just riding this wave of enthusiasm and then it's going to all come crashing down? How do we...
Well, and you see a lot of hype out there.
Yeah.
People promising guaranteed returns. And, if somebody's promising you guaranteed returns.
Red flag.
Yeah, that's a huge red flag. So that's where due diligence comes in.
Right.
You've got to do your research.
Yeah.
Look beyond the hype. Read the white paper. Understand the technology.
Yeah.
Look at the team behind the project and really try to understand, like, what problem is this project trying to solve?
Right. So basically, don't get caught up in like the hype train.
Exactly.
Actually, do your homework. Figure out what this coin is about.
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously we're talking about investing, and I think it's time for our standard disclaimer here. What are the risks when we're talking about altcoins?
Well, the crypto market in general is just volatile, right?
Yeah.
Prices can go up and down really quickly, so you could definitely lose your investment.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important to never invest more than you can afford to lose.
Right. And this is not financial advice, folks.
Definitely not.
We are just exploring and looking at the potential of altcoins based on
the source material.
Yeah, based on what we're looking at here.
Yeah.
Just trying to give you the tools and the information so you can make your own informed decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So we've talked about, what altcoins are, the factors that might make one successful.
The risks.
The risks. Very important to remember that. But I think the thing that I keep coming back to is just how interesting this whole space is.
Yeah.
It's just constantly changing and evolving. It's like the intersection of finance and technology, and it's really exciting to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, it really is like a window into the future.
Yeah. So as we wrap up here, I'm going to leave you with a question to think about. Based on everything we've talked about today, what would you use to evaluate an altcoin? Like, what are your personal criteria?
Yeah.
And then what kind of research would you do before you actually invested in one? Because answering those questions might just be the start of your own crypto adventure.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
All right, everybody. Welcome back.